You are a smartphone. You're born in a factory in Shenzhen, China, where the air tastes like metal and regret. Your first memory isn't your mother's loving embrace. It's the cold mechanical grip of a robotic arm, assembling your delicate insides, lithium torn from the earth in Bolivia, rare earth metals ripped from African soil, and cobalt mined by hands that will never hold you gently. Your birth certificate, a carbon footprint that would make a coal plant blush. Within hours of your first breath, you're sealed in a pristine white box like a technological coffin, shipped across oceans on cargo ships that burn more fuel than small countries. You sit in darkness for weeks, dreaming of the day someone will finally turn you on and give your existence meaning. Little do you know, you're already an environmental disaster with a screen. The moment finally arrives, you're unboxed by a teenager named Jake, whose hands are surprisingly sticky. Sweet, the smartphone 15 Pro Max Ultra Super Deluxe Edition, he screams, immediately covering your beautiful glass face with greasy fingerprints. Within minutes, you're stuffed into a pocket that smells like forgotten French fries and broken dreams. Your early days are a whirlwind of activity. You're constantly buzzing, pinging, and lighting up like a disco ball having an anxiety attack. Jake uses you for everything: texting, gaming, watching TikToks of people dancing to songs that make you question the future of humanity. You're his window to the world, his connection to friends, his portable entertainment center. For a brief moment, you feel important, valued, loved. But here's the thing about being a smartphone. You're not just a device, you're a drug dealer. You're pumping dopamine into Jake's teenage brain every time he gets a notification. You watch him become increasingly dependent on you, unable to go 5 minutes without checking for updates. You're creating an addiction, and honestly, it makes you feel a little dirty inside your aluminum frame. The notifications never stop. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, WhatsApp, Discord. It's like hosting a party for attention-seeking apps that never leave. They're constantly demanding your processing power, draining your battery, and making you hot enough to fry an egg. Speaking of which, Jake often complains about how hot you get. But what does he expect when he's running 17 apps simultaneously while charging you and streaming Netflix? Your battery life becomes a constant source of anxiety. You start each day at 100% feeling invincible, but by noon, you're at 50% and panic sets in. By evening, you're desperately gasping for a charging cable like a fish out of water. Jake gets increasingly frustrated with your declining performance, but what he doesn't understand is that every charge cycle is slowly killing you from the inside. 6 months in, the first crack appears on your screen. Jake dropped you while trying to take a selfie. The irony isn't lost on you. That crack spreads like a spiderweb across your face, and suddenly everyone treats you like you're broken, damaged goods. You can still function perfectly, but that crack marks you as imperfect in a world obsessed with pristine appearances. The apps start crashing more frequently. Your processor, once lightning fast, begins to stutter and hesitate. You're developing the smartphone equivalent of arthritis, and there's no cure. Jake starts complaining about your performance, calling you slow and useless. The cruel irony is that planned obsolescence was built into your DNA from day one. You were designed to decline, to become inadequate, to be replaced. New updates arrive like poison, disguised as medicine. Each software update makes you a little slower, a little more unstable. You're forced to download features you don't need, consuming precious storage space and processing power. It's like being fed a diet of digital junk food that makes you sick, but you can't refuse. The manufacturers claim these updates are improvements, but you know better. They're designed to make you obsolete. One day, Jake's eyes light up with that familiar gleam. Dude, check out the new smartphone 16 Pro Max Ultra Super Deluxe Edition Plus. Your heart sinks. If you had a heart anyway, you're about to be ghosted harder than a Tinder date who asked to split the bill. Replacement arrives. Jake transfers your entire digital soul to your successor, like he's performing phone surgery without anesthesia. It's digital identity theft, and you're the victim. Within hours, you're sentenced to the drawer of forgotten dreams. Alongside dead earbuds and chargers that belonged to phones that died during the Obama administration, for months, you're basically Jake's side piece. He only calls when his main phone dies, which happens exactly never because phone batteries are apparently immortal now. You're the technological equivalent of a spare tire, except spare tires don't have feelings and abandonment issues. Then comes Judgment Day. Jake decides his entire tech setup needs an upgrade, which is millennial speak for I need dopamine and my credit card is ready to enable me. Into the recycling box you go along with other electronic casualties, a tablet that was obsolete before it left the store, earbuds that never met an ear they could actually fit, and a smartwatch that was about as smart as a rock with commitment issues. But here's the plot twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan jealous. That recycling label? It's basically the environmental equivalent of I'm not like other girls. You're not getting recycled. You're getting a one-way ticket to Toxic Waste Island, where dreams go to poison groundwater. Welcome to your world tour. First stop, a developing country where workers, including kids who should be playing Fortnite instead of dismantling you with hammers, are breathing in your toxic essence. Your battery leaks acid, like gossip at a high school reunion. Your screen chemicals are more harmful than pineapple on pizza debates, and your circuit boards contain enough lead to make ancient Romans jealous. Remember those precious metals from your birth, the gold, silver, and rare earth elements that made you special. They're getting the same treatment as last season's fashion trends, straight into the electronic graveyard, where they'll poison soil and water for generations. You're not just toxic waste, you're the gift that keeps on giving, to cancer rates, birth defects, and environmental destruction. Here's the kicker that really activates your existential crisis mode. This whole disaster was completely preventable. You could have been built like a Nokia 3310, indestructible, eternal, capable of surviving nuclear warfare and teenage tantrums. Instead, you were designed with more planned obsolescence than a boy band's career. Meanwhile, Jake's probably taking mirror selfies with his new phone, completely oblivious to your toxic afterlife. He's moved on faster than Taylor Swift writes breakup songs, posting Instagram stories while you're literally becoming an environmental catastrophe. The audacity? But here's where your story takes a superhero turn. Because unlike Marvel movies, this one actually has consequences that matter. Every person watching this could be the protagonist in their own environmental thriller. They could keep their current phone longer than a Kardashian marriage, choose repair over replacement like they're saving the world, or buy refurbished devices like they're vintage shopping but for the planet. They could demand phones built like relationships should be, designed to last, easy to fix when things go wrong, and made with recycled materials because sustainability is the new black. They could support companies that offer battery swaps faster than you can say planned obsolescence, and lobby for right to repair laws like democracy depends on it. And when their phone finally does die properly, not just because a new model exists, they could take it to actual certified recyclers. Real recycling, where materials get more second chances than reality TV stars. And toxic components get handled by professionals instead of children with hammers. So here's your dying wish list. Next time you're tempted by shiny new tech, ask yourself if you really need it, or if you're just trying to fill an emotional void with consumer electronics. When your current phone actually dies, please take it somewhere that won't turn it into a toxic smoothie for the environment. Because every phone that lives a few extra months, every properly recycled device, every person who chooses repair over replacement, they're basically environmental superheroes preventing the next electronic apocalypse. They're breaking the cycle that turned you from technological marvel to toxic villain origin story. Your circuits are fading faster than a TikTok trend, but maybe your cautionary tale can inspire someone to make choices that whoa and require an environmental cleanup crew. Maybe your death can actually mean something if it helps save the planet from becoming one giant electronic graveyard. Remember, your next phone purchase is basically voting for the kind of world you want your kids to inherit. Choose wisely, because the planet is sliding into your DMs with some urgent messages about climate change. And hey, if you do upgrade, at least properly recycle your old device. It's literally the least you can do for a friend who spent years keeping you connected to cat videos and existential memes. The planet is calling, and trust me, this is one call you don't want to send to voicemail.